Hello and welcome to another MBUK podcast. I'm Rob Weaver, and as always, I'm joined by Tom Marvin. How are you, Tom?
I'm all right, thanks, Rob. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
Now, because I messed these introductions up so much, I'm going to actually read what I've written. So today, we're lucky enough to be joined by someone who's done a serious amount of winning over the last couple of weeks. As if taking gold at the Downhill National Champs wasn't enough, she went on straight to the Red Bull Hardline Wales event, where she became the first female to do a top-to-bottom run and win the event. That's right, it's Lou Ferguson. Welcome along, Lou.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So we should probably get straight into hardline.
Yeah.
I mean, you made history. That must have been pretty special.
Yeah, I've been to a couple hardlines now, and with the goal of finishing a run. But it's just it's a big task, and it feels incredible to finally get there. And yeah, to do it last week at Wales, I don't have many words, but I'm sure they'll come out like throughout the podcast. But yeah, the other women and I have, it's been a bit of a battle. But to be honest, we've had a couple injuries and had to deal with a lot of bad weather. So it feels extra special to put it all together in Wales when the track is so technical and the weather wasn't the easiest. So.
Yeah. How does it compare to, say, Tasmania, where you've already put down full runs there, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite different, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I feel like, well, one, hardline's so different to World Cups, but then the two locations have such different weather and the hill is very different as well. So I've had that question a couple times, whether Tassie or Wales is more technical. But I think the challenge with Tasmania is the speed. It's pretty hard to slow down for the features, like in the top section of the track. And then in the bottom where it comes out into the open, across that container drop into the shark fin, it's actually a long time to be running into features. So I was struggling with the speed to try and get over them. So yeah, I think that's the challenge in Tasmania, whereas in Wales, the technical sections in between the features are really difficult. Like, especially in the wet, it's so slippery on those rocks. I have no idea what they're made of, but I don't like it. Just coming from Scotland, the rocks are actually grippier in the wet. But for some reason, Wales is it's just a bit of, I have no clue. But yeah, so the technical sections in between the features in Wales are a lot harder. And quite often they're right before a feature. And the features are no joke as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an interesting combination.
Yeah, because it's not like the features are sort of dialed back compared to Tassie. They're just as gnarly, right? But then you've just got this crazy part of track in between.
Yeah, I'd say I guess the 90s are bigger than the Tassie jumps.
Yeah.
And then the road gap is bigger than the container drop in Tasmania. I think it's a bit higher, so it feels like you're falling for a lot longer. And even when I first went to Wales in 2023, I stood on top of that road gap for way too long. And if you stand on the edge of it, you're on the top of like a 2 or 3 story building. So that in itself is just the vertigo at the edge of it is quite gnarly. So yeah, that
sort of like psych yourself out a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I did. It took me, man, it was on my mind. Like that first season, I stayed up one night. I just couldn't sleep because I was so thinking about that road gap so much. Mm-hmm. It was one of the ones that I really wanted to do, and I felt like it was possible. But the intimidation of like just where you are and like you can't turn around. There's no beeline. That really got to me, and yeah, I think I stood up there a bit too long.
In terms of sort of like, I mean, speaking as someone who probably would never ever consider doing such a big road.
Oh, you
gap.
wait. We've got some stuff planned. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Next year, you're towing me in. So
yeah. Big sponsored feature. We'd need a massive sponsor for that, I think.
On a trail bike.
On a trail bike. Yeah.
Wow.
Just keep in your comfort zone.
I guess, the actual drop itself, like technically wise, it's a big drop, but compared to some of the technical features, am I right to assume it's not the most difficult thing? It's just a head thing?
Yeah, you're right. The road gap was one of the features that in 2023, all the men who'd done it before were telling me like to start on the road gap. And I was like, you must be mental. Like there's no way that this is the easiest feature. Yeah, because it's pretty blind, and like I said, there's no ride around. In fact, there's not even a way to get down. Like, you have to get off your bike and put it on your shoulder and climb down these boulders. So it's like it's kind of demoralizing as well. Like, when you go up there and don't ride it, it's like a punishment. You're like, ah. But then, yeah, but the speed works. It's been tested. It's really reassuring watching the men do it, and it seems like you have to turn your brain off and just ride into it, and with a bit of commitment, and the chances are it will work out. And it, I'm not gonna lie though, like, it didn't really get easier throughout the week. Like, the factor of rolling into it was still really intimidating, but I kept telling myself, like, I've done it before, and if I just do the same thing again, it's gonna, the result is gonna be the same. So
would you rather a track that was all road drops and 90s, or all like the rocky technical stuff before it?
Oh, that's a road gaps in 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. Only in Wales though, like, because I love downhill racing and I love the tech, but for some, that track in the wet is like, it's gnarly.
It got greasy on race day, I guess, because the weather was good at the start, and then it sort of deteriorated a bit, right?
Yeah, and Red Bull does their best to manage the conditions, so they try and change the schedule to make the racing possible, because the wind is always a factor, and then like, if the wind picks up, we can't do any of the features, so we don't have a race. Whereas if it's wet, then they're a bit happier. They're like, you can ride slower if you want to, even though the men are not going to slow down. But yeah, I think, we definitely got, like, I did do a lot of practice in the dry, and then when it came to actually putting a full run together, I had to do it in the rain, and I was pretty scared.
I was going to say, so you've done a few now. Is it just a case of sort of normalising it? Because it's still a 90-foot jump. It sounds just horrible. And then, you're dropping 2-3 stories down over a road. It isn't your usual sort of downhill track. And is it just a case of the experience means it becomes more normal for you? Yeah,
I do love the process of hitting big features and scaring myself. Is like, it's some feeling, like being intimidated and then working through those fears and emotions, and then getting it done usually well. Like, it usually goes good so far, touch wood, but it's the most insane feeling, and it's tough to make that feel normal. Like, the run into the road gap, it intimidated me till the very end, but then I had to convince myself that it's like, it's not that big a deal. Like, there was a lot of self-talk. Even so, the cliff drop was the most intimidating feature for me, and before my race run, I was like, it's just a drop, like,
because that's
just pretend.
Blind, isn't it? And is it hard to gauge your speed into that?
Yeah.
That's
I think that's the challenge with the cliff drop, because as you run in, there's no reference for if you're going too fast or too slow, but the consequence of it's really high. So if you come up short, it's not good. And then also going deep, so the run out is a really steep shoot, and to try and control yourself into the next section is a big challenge anyway. So I was thinking, if the run out was easier, it would have been less intimidating, but you don't even want to go long on it, because then you'll be out of control. So that was tough, but just trying to back myself, and as I'm running, every time I did it, it did work out really well. And I had to, before my race run, I had to say, like, it's like, it's just a drop, it's chill, trying to tell myself it's like small, and it's not small, but just to help with the self-belief, like, but the perspective helps. Like, doing the 90-footers in a full race run in the wet, I feel like now everything at a World Cup is going to be pretty chill. Like, I'm not going to be going into like a 30-foot jump and think like, oh no, like, is it going to be okay? I think now my horizons have broadened, and I feel like my experience is a lot better. So it pushes me so much more than World Cups.
Do you find the mental side of it manageable? Is it something that comes quite naturally to you?
No, not really. I was actually just went to look at Max earlier. You probably saw the emotions all week, and I don't want to say it's a female thing, but it's really hard for me to turn my brain off and like just throw care to the wind and be like, here we go. Like, I really struggle to do that. So I have to fully grasp all the emotions and accept the consequences as well before I do it. So I actually feel like I'm not much of a risk taker.
Okay.
I like definitely think about things quite a lot, and when I do decide to do something, I'm gonna commit to it.
Quite
and
considered.
Yeah, I like to think that.
I spoke to when Matt Jones was going down, the wingsuit pilots flew over the top.
Yeah.
And I bumped into one of them on the hill watching, and we sort of got chatting a little bit. And she was like, you know, the guys and girls doing this, they're crazy and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, I think you're kind of...
Do you know how you got here?
Do you know? Yeah, about that. But we were chatting afterwards, and she sort of said, actually, I don't really like the sort of term crazy for all this, because actually, you guys who are racing it, and me, who's not me, on the wingsuit, like we do this with a lot of preparation, a lot of practice, and a lot of consideration. So we're not crazy. We're not throwing ourselves off
calculated
stuff.
Risks.
We're doing stuff that we've practiced time and time again, and we actually know what we're doing. We just have to get over the first ones and the second one just to make sure that we can do it safe. And actually, we're not crazy. We're incredibly thoughtful about this.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's I get that all the time as well. People are like, "Oh, you're mental. I'd never do that." And I'm like, "Oh, I've like really tried to build myself up to this point, and I feel like we take measured risks, and that was tough. The toughest thing last week was not being in control of the results or whether I could do a full run. It was like I could only do my best and like try and be safe and work through everything. But the fact that we got a full run was like, I almost felt like I was out of my control. Like I just did everything I could, and then it worked out. So
did you feel pressure to do it, to be one of the first to get it done? Or did you put pressure on yourself? I
put a good amount of pressure on myself throughout the week to just focus on one feature at a time and not think about the final run. It was too much, because I was pretty intimidated by each feature, and when we were working through it, you get like this crazy adrenaline spike, and then you're suddenly like celebrating and it's great with everyone, and then you're like, okay, on to the next thing. Now I have to like recenter and like come into start focusing on something else, and then reevaluate again, and then think like, okay, now I'm gonna do a full run, and I need to like hit all these features back to back, and you're still getting that adrenaline like as you're going into them. And yeah, I think next year will be really interesting to see how it feels to just start the week knowing that I can do it, and maybe not get as like emotional, and like it'll still be incredible. I know first hits they're pretty nerve-wracking, but
yeah, it
should be. I'm trying to tell myself it's going to be easier and like more manageable mentally to get through everything. What was your question? I don't know. I was like, I think I answered that, but then you did say something else as well. Yeah.
You sort of mentioned, my next question was kind of like, have you ticked it off and like are you going to park it? But it sounds like you want to go back.
Definitely. Yeah. This is the beginning. It's
wicked.
Yeah. It's been a dream. Like I went to Hardline in 2023 for the first time and was really overwhelmed with everything. It was really bad weather, but I'd never seen anything that big before. Like it really doesn't do it justice. Like the road gap and the videos of it when you're standing next to it, and it's like nothing I've ever seen. So yeah, so I when I was there, I got my eyes opened and I was like, okay, I do want to do this, and I want to push myself. And yeah, that's been a couple of years in the making, and now that I've completed a run, it's just I want to race it now, and I want the other women to be up at the top with me.
I was going to say, do you think we're going to see more women next year doing just like you?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, because I have full belief that they're all capable. And even I had that thought in Tasmania. We were all ready and like ticking off features, and because of the weather and the schedule changes and things, it didn't completely happen. But yeah, now I've done a run, I'm 100% sure the other women are capable. So
you've sort of finished the hardline thing for 2025. It sort of, I'm sure you could argue it in other ways, but it feels like probably one of the biggest, like results, achievements. What's it been like since that? You said on the way you had the BBC call, and you're like, is this sort of the exposure that you've never experienced, or what's it like sort of being in this, hype of activity?
I feel like it's a huge compliment, but it is like a bit much for me. I've like the whole week is really stimulating with all the with the challenges riding, but then also there's so many spectators which are out to support everyone and get involved, and then all the cameras and the media. It's been pretty non-stop since I finished my run. And I'm feeling a bit like, a little bit tired, to be honest. But
so that's why we dragged you in here.
Fueled by the donuts that are on. Big shout to Pip and Co. Please sponsor us.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it's keeping me. You just sneak it in there.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just here for the donuts and the coffee.
There we go.
Yeah.
Small street for the coffee.
No, I think it's it's a huge compliment, and I'm actually really grateful for it, because I've realised how much everyone cares about pushing women's sports forwards. And I actually went through, my phone has been going crazy, but I went through some of my message requests, and there's so many women and young girls who have messaged me and said like the nicest things, and it just shows like how many people are watching and how much potential we all have. And I'm super lucky just to be the one that managed to do it. But I know it's not just me, it was Tanny persevering with Red Bull and making sure we had the space to do it, and then all the other women. Like I was so nervous for that cliff drop, and then Cami opened it up, and I just suddenly saw, I was like, yeah, we can do this, like we've got it. Like all the men at Hardline are incredibly nice, and they're really keen to bring us with them. But Cami and the other girls are a lot more relatable for me. Like when I see them do something, I'm like, okay, one, they're the same size as me, so like I know they've got the speed, so I can have the speed. And then they've gone through every single challenge that I've been through, so women are a lot more relatable, and it's easier to get inspired by other women. So even though the men are incredible, and I've got so much respect for them.
I think you'll have inspired a lot of people.
Yeah, it's an incredible achievement.
Guys and girls.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much. I'm not gonna lie, the pressure before my race run was thinking about everyone else, and I had to, I was very, very nervous, and I just started off the run and felt very tense, and managed to just stop and refocus and just think about the riding, because when I was at the top and just had the other women on my mind and all the build up, like the last couple of years, I was like checking things off, and all the nice messages I got the night before of people saying they were going to watch and how impressive it was. I was like, I just started thinking about them and how much it meant to everyone else, and it means a lot to me. But I don't know about you when you've done race runs, but you kind of just want to be thinking about your ride and not about like everything else going on. And so that was a big challenge for me, just switching off all the noise and like just focusing on getting down.
Yeah, it's huge. How does it compare to say like a World Cup then?
It's pretty different. Yeah, because the whole week is such a challenge just to complete the course. So going into a World Cup race run, I've done it so many times. Like I'm definitely get nervous for the World Cup, but I feel pretty experienced in that sense now. So it's not as it doesn't take as much to get to the start gate. I feel like there's so many amazing women at World Cups, and it's really tough to qualify, but I feel like very much in my element, and there's not like one feature on a World Cup track that is on my mind. It's more of like focusing on hitting every feature like well, and like going like carrying speed through sections. It's not like, okay, I need to hit a 9-foot jump in the middle and I need to look at the windsock, and then as soon as I've done that, I'm like straight into some slippery rocks that I feel unrideable sometimes, and then off the biggest road gap I've hit in my life, and then into the next bit. It's like, it just feels like a lot, whereas at World Cups, it's the challenge at World Cups is to hit the course as fast as I can, whereas at Hardline it's more, this year was completing the track, and then hopefully next year it'll be thinking about getting some race runs and like getting some good times. But I have heard a rumor that they're changing the whole track, so please, I don't know, it might be another challenge, I think, hitting everything for the first time. So
how does the team feel about you putting yourself at sort of through these risks? I know we sort of said earlier it's quite calculated, but it's still, it feels like there's more consequence at a race like Hardline versus World Cup potentially. Yeah,
you're not wrong. I think Hardline does involve a lot more risk, and the team in the past haven't been that excited about it.
Okay.
So because our focus is World Cups and I want to do well there, it's they have said no. Like last year I was geared up to come to Wales, and my team manager Ollie had to have a chat with me and say, like, you know, it's really important for the team to get points this season, and we just can't afford for you to go to Hardline and potentially like put yourself out. And I was a bit devastated because I was looking forward to so much, and again, it wasn't just me, I was thinking about the other girls who I went to Tasmania with, and I wouldn't get to work. Like,
it's very collaborative, I guess.
So supportive.
Yeah.
Like the Hardline riders are something else. Like they're very kind, and like they're so badass. Like they all have different experiences to me, and we like work together through features, and the whole week's really fun. So yeah, I was sad to miss out, but I was also cheering them from afar. And then they managed to do the road gap last year, and I was just super proud. So
that's cool. Yeah,
but the team in the past have definitely been on the fence, and I don't blame them as well. They were it makes, like, from their point of view, it is just a big risk. But I had a chat with Ollie, my team manager, at the end of the season, and I told him my biggest regret was not getting to go to Hardline. So they said yes this year. They were like, okay, you can go. And yeah, I think
paid off.
Yeah, it did pay. They actually just chatted to me. They're like, I think we need to support you, like coming to Hardline. So yeah, we can work through it. But it would have been selfish for me to come to Hardline last year, because everyone in our World Cup team is putting so much effort into the racing. And if I'd come to Hardline and got injured, it would have been really tough, like, for the team. So yeah, I see how much hard work they put in, and I was like, I see it, and I can't really just go off and do something else. And
I guess the changes in sort of the World Cup structure running into this season meant that, you know, the points were so important in order to get one of those sort of established top tier sort of packages. And I guess this year for the team, you know, you guys have all been absolutely smashing it. I know you said, you know, you're one of the smaller teams on the circuit, but you've been one of the most consistent in terms of getting riders into finals. So maybe that's sort of a little bit of a buffer, you know, not too worried about next season. Yeah. And, you know, want to achieve, you know, you'll have brought an awful lot of attention to the team. You know, I'm pretty sure Intense are going to be pretty happy with it now.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for Intense as well, and all our sponsors. Like, it's just been such a great week, and yeah, they just want to see us do well in everything, World Cups and just riding bikes. But yeah, having Millie on the team and Joe and Oscar and Wanfer, everyone's been killing it this year, and I think you're right, because points are super important for the World Cup, and for us to be a World Cup team, we have to have them. So last year I was the only one bringing points, like, for the first couple of races, and Hardline was scheduled, and so it was a tough call. But yeah, you're completely right. Like, it did make sense.
Should we talk national champs?
I was going to say, speaking of, you know, success and points, I mean, it feels like that in itself is a massive achievement.
I mean,
but then
that's
you
a big enough achievement on its own,
Then the following week you just smashed it at Hardline. But it must have been amazing to take the win, technically in your home track, right?
Yeah. I can't explain my race run. I just heard everyone shouting my name down the track, and when I crossed the finish, I had no idea if it was going to be enough to be national champ, but I just enjoyed it, and I was really happy to see the time. It's not been a kind track to me in the past, so I didn't have a lot of expectation to do well, and to do it in front of a home crowd, and it felt really, really good. I actually used to work at Nevershringe, so I used to build some of the tracks, and nice. So even everyone who works there just feels like, it feels good to represent. But yeah, the not just the Scottish girls, but the British girls are really good. Like, we have a strong team, and we're going to go to World Champs next month, I think. And the British girls are, like, not to be messed with. Like, the Frenchies have a good, strong team as well, and then the British girls are good. So I feel I'm lucky that I've got such good competition, like, at World Cups.
Really pushes you.
Yeah. And even national races now as well. It's like, it was pretty tough. Like, Phoebe's been on fire recently, and Michaela's, like, her home track too. Like, we grew up together and went to school in Le Havre, and then so it's pretty sick to go through all of this with her. And she was trackside this week at Hardline and shown me so much love and support. That's
wicked.
Really kind.
What's it going to mean to wear the sleeve then? Because is this your first national title?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just because I moved to New Zealand, I haven't done a lot of British champs. And last year I raced in Wales, and I qualified first at British champs. And I think I got a little bit excited. I was like, oh, good, like, maybe we could do it. And then, I had a bit of a hugie in my race run. And so it hadn't been a goal of mine before that. And then last year when I raced British champs, and I was like, I would love to represent. And Hattie took the sleeve. It was so well deserved. She's a great racer, and it would be. I actually thought I had to run it this week at Hardline. I had to double check because there was a commissaire at the race, and we weren't sure what was what the rules were.
Yeah.
So it didn't in the end. So hopefully.
Have you got the jersey made up already?
So I cut a sleeve off, and then I took Matt Walker's jersey. He gave it to me in Fort William, so I was going to run it underneath. So like a little bit
I
of
thought you were going to cut like Matt Walker's sleeve off and just graft it
and
on.
Then we didn't have any sewing machines, so I was like a last minute like bodge was going to be the one. Yeah. But we asked around. The commissar didn't seem. In fact, I don't even know if we should put this out because in case they come after me, like the UCI. But because it's a UCI race, but you get 10 points if you win Hardline. Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah, 10 UCI points. So I feel like I don't think they're too stressed about those points. But whereas British champs, I think it was like 100, 150 points.
I guess it's Cat 1, Cat 2, right?
Huge difference in points. So hopefully they don't come after me.
Points mean prizes though.
Yeah, points are good. They're currency at the moment. Like if you have some UCI points here, sought after. So my plan was actually to go to European champs after this. Yeah. So I'm meant to be en route after like today. But unfortunately, I had some van trouble on the way to Hardline, so I had to hire a car, make some moves to get down there. We got in at midnight and then woke up and had to do track walk and then practice on the same day. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind this week. And then, we got to drive back to Scotland, drop off this hire car. Instead of just pop back up there. Instead of going south, we're actually going to go north, which is great. And then try and fix the van and stuff. But I'm not going to make it to Euro champs. So it should be good. I do love racing, but it's going to be great to have a bit of a break before we go into Ligier and World Champs.
Because I suppose that's only 4 weeks away.
Yeah, I think it's pretty soon actually.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, the season this year, they've added so many events, and I felt like my schedule has been pretty hectic, like back to back. And that's without doing any Crankworx.
Yeah, because you're quite a regular at those.
Love Crankworx. Yeah, Crankworx and Hardline have this crazy vibe where everyone's in it together. Like at World Cup, I feel like everyone's focused, and especially if you're on a team, it's like you're a team, you're gonna you just end up spending most of your time with them. But Crankworx there's so many different events and so many different backgrounds of riders that it's just a really nice like melting pot of people, and it's just a cool sport. So
are there any events at those races that really sort of stand out for you? Because I've looked back through Roots and Rain and seen you've kind of dabbled in all sorts.
Yeah, well, I just love pushing myself, and I think that's why I love Hardline so much, because like the Africans have built something insane, like the features that we're riding and the progression of the sport that's happened, because the Hardline is incredible, and they're only going to keep pushing it, which is terrifying but also like really cool. And I think that's why I'm just really excited to be part of it, because I know it's always going to push me to keep getting better and better. And when I've raced Crankworx, I've tried pump track and Joe slalom and speed and style, and as much as I want to be really good at downhill and race in World Cups, I also just love riding my bike. And
you've won some enduro races too though, right? Back in the day,
done some enduro, like honestly it's so gnarly as well. Like when Dan Booker and I started racing together, like our first privateer season, and I did an EWS with him in Elithing. And it was pretty tough because you don't get much practice, so you have to just be really good at reacting to like what's coming around the corner, and then be incredibly fit as well to manage the stages and then the liaisons. And I've got a lot of respect for the enduro girls as well. Super impressive. But I'm not envious. Like I don't think I'm gonna like transfer to enduro anytime soon. So I think Hattie can do that for the rest of us. She's just good at everything. She just does enduro like she's raced cross country World Cups
Yep.
as well,
Yeah.
and then downhill World Cups and
Cyclocross,
Cyclocross. She was
World.
cyclocross world.
junior world champ or something.
Yeah.
like-
European champ as well.
She had 19 titles.
No,
and
17 national titles, I think.
by the time she was 23.
Yeah.
That's insane. She should get some kind of British cycling award for like just
You'd hope, right?
yeah, just the most all-rounded rider.
She's got to be one of the most successful bike riders
Yeah.
ever.
I don't think we shout about Hattie enough, or even Rachel Atherton. I'm like, why has she
Oh,
not
yeah.
got like, I don't know what the
The
equivalent
damehood.
is. I was going to say like, what's
Yeah.
knighthood for women? She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, damehood. Yeah.
she's done so much for women's cycling.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like when
Pushed
she,
it really hard.
yeah, just even dominating so hard. Like she's just pushed the level so much.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, we had
It's
Hattie
incredible.
on the podcast a few months ago, and I think incredible, like great to chat to. But I mean, getting Rachel as well would be.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Oh please, yeah,
So,
please
yeah.
get Rachel.
We'll be
Yeah.
working on all of those. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great to chat to. The women pushing the sport forward is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
We should probably kind of go back a bit more because, like we were chatting earlier, you said you were quite late to actually getting into riding. But how long have you technically been a pro? How long have you been doing it full time?
My first World Cup was 2022. So after COVID, I started racing, and that was my first privateer season. So
Right.
yeah, and then after I got on a team in 2023, and then my first invite to Hardline was actually a last minute call up. So
Okay.
so Casey Brown unfortunately got injured
Yeah.
and couldn't make it, and Tanny was calling around a bunch of the girls to see who could come in and wanted to give it a go. And TJ, one of the filmers at World Cups, put my name forward, and she phoned me, and I was like, no, all good. I was like, I really want to come. I was like, I've got tickets to come watch, but I was and I really want to do it, for sure, but at some point, but I don't feel like ready. Like I don't know if I'd ride anything, and I wouldn't want to take someone else's spot. And she pretty much convinced me. She was like, nah, just come, like it's gonna be great. And thanks to her and TJ, I just got my eyes opened and had so much fun that year, and ended up getting rider of the week, but the event got cancelled. So yeah, I was had a great time, but I was also really scared a lot.
So what was your background? I mean, people don't just sort of, do a year as a pro and then go to Hardline. It seems like that's quite a jump, it feels. So what were you doing before that?
So I started riding in Scotland. I grew up in Fort William, and there's the Dudes of Hazards.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah.
So I owed them quite a lot because they built a lot of our local tracks. And
Yes.
when I got into riding with some friends, we ended up just riding their stuff, which was actually pretty gnarly. Like the style in Fort William, apart from the downhill track, is super tight and technical and steep and slippery, and I just couldn't believe it. Like once I started riding, I became obsessed. And I look back now, and a lot of my decisions were just around mountain biking. I moved to New Zealand because they had good riding,
Right.
and then I ended up getting stuck there because of COVID. And
Not a bad place to be.
no, at the time I wasn't 100% sure, just because it was a bit of a choice but not a choice. Everything was just happening, it was a crazy time. But then looking back, it was the best thing that could have happened. And the riding community in Queenstown is actually really developed. The women's side of things are really developed. So
More so than other places you've been?
yeah, when I first got there, I was blown away. I went to the bike park in Queenstown, and there was more women than I'd ever seen on bikes.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
they had they still have, it's a Facebook group called Dirt Town Queens, and they've been going for years, and I think their supportive environment just got more and more women into riding, and then it was like a snowball effect, and now I guess everywhere's caught up around the world. But when I first got to Queenstown, I couldn't believe it. And I just felt like it was for me. I was like, this place is incredible. There's so many girls just killing it. And I don't know if you've been to Queenstown, but you go there and you just get smoked. You think you're okay at riding, and then everyone there is just unbelievable. There'll be tradies riding in their high vis and stuff after work, and you can't keep up. Everyone's, the level at nationals in New Zealand is funny because it's so relaxed. There's no one seems to take it too seriously, but they're just really good. They just, so it's the perfect place to go to get better. And I ended up working for that bike park.
Yeah.
When I first got to Queenstown, and I was riding my bike every day and digging and loading other people's bikes. So I just got submerged in the community really quickly because I just saw people riding every day. And then, yeah, I think that helped when COVID happened, and everyone was just, I was doing a bunch of races in New Zealand, and everyone was like, why don't you go race World Cups? And I'd been watching Michaela, and she'd got into World Cup racing, and it was she kind of inspired me. I was like, oh yeah, like I really want to go. I did try before I left. I ended up trying to race Fort William, but I couldn't, I didn't have any points. So
Right.
I ended up sweeping. Like I was going down in between the categories. And so I thought I was like, I could maybe do it. And just everyone in Queenstown who I rode with was like, just hyped me up so much. And then I got to the point where I was like, yeah, like I actually am, like as soon as I get the chance, I saved up, and when the restrictions relaxed, I flew back to Europe and did my first privateer season. And yeah, I haven't looked back.
What was your first race then?
Fort William.
Fort William.
And I didn't qualify. Yeah. It was an amazing experience. I think not qualifying was one of a good learning point for me. I was like, it doesn't always work out, and I just realized when that happened, I was like, right, okay, now I'm gonna go to Leo Gang and I really want to qualify. So yeah, it's been great. Like racing's given me so much confidence in myself and given me some really tough times as well, but I think that's just part of it. So
Did you always set out to be a pro? Was that the goal?
no, I didn't. Yeah, Nuke Proof were really supportive that first year, even when I was a privateer, but I didn't think it was ever it wasn't my intention to become professional. I just loved riding and wanted to go and race and just push myself. And then I actually went back to New Zealand, and at the end of the season, and I was tiling for this guy called Dave. Dave's a legend, by the way.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I was like, I'll just keep tiling, keep saving up money, and then go over to Europe and race each season and just figure it out. So yeah.
Proper privateer life.
Yeah, it wasn't I would still be doing it now. I wouldn't.
Would you?
Yeah.
You carried on because you love it.
Yeah, and everyone's like, when I go back to New Zealand, and some people ask me oh, you must be so glad you're not tiling anymore. And I think it's just like anything, there's good days and bad days. And you have good days racing and bad days, but it's just good to have a purpose and have structure as well. So yeah, I actually quite like tiling, but it's not a bad job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but racing just gives me so much, so much traveling, and I get to meet some incredible people, and I feel like I make more of a difference riding than I do tiling. So.
Well, I suppose it depends on the finished job, right? It depends. If you've done someone's bathroom and it looks immaculate.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be.
You don't know how good that feels. That's it's very satisfying.
Cool.
Yeah. You just put a lot of effort into something, and then you can stand back and be like, wow, that's good. You get that with racing sometimes. You're like, wow, that run, that was good. Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's going to be hard to dwarf what you've just done this weekend. It's pretty massive, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's just nice to. I don't even know how to say it. I'm struggle for words when I think about hardline. Maybe we can start over with that.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you must be kind of done with talking about it now.
No. It's just I wish I was Tanny. She has such a good way with words, but hardline was as much for me as for all the other women.
Yeah.
Coming through the finish and seeing their faces and just having the whole experience. I think I think it's hopefully gonna make a difference next year, and we can just keep progressing and opening doors.
A real sort of stepping stone, I think.
Yeah,
cool.
I hope so. And I think, don't want to speak for Tanny, but I hope she's keen to come and give it a good go. And her and Gracie are in the overall for the World Cup, and so there's we were talking about teams and pressure, they could win the overall, and it's such a tough choice. But when your team's putting so much energy and effort into the World Cup, it's really hard to go and do something else that might hinder that. So I totally understand the decision, But in a selfish way, I really hope they next year come back
Yeah.
and we can make it work. So
Speaking of teams, we should probably, talk about Life on Intense. This is your second year, is that right?
yeah.
How long have you been on the Gearbox bike?
So it was a bit of a last minute decision,
Okay.
but yeah, just this from the first race this season, I've been on the Gearbox, and I wasn't initially meant to be on it, but then I think I just found an extra bike, or somehow it
Nice.
came about that there was a spare frame. So yeah, they gave me the option, and I wasn't 100% sure. I thought like I'll do a day of riding and then decide, because we were flying out to Poland. It was like 2 days before we left the UK. So
No
it was
way, that soon?
that soon,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
And I actually did, so I did like 6 runs on my bike, which I've ridden for like over a year now, and felt really good on. And then I did 4 runs on the Gearbox bike, and I just rode and like wasn't really thinking too much about it, just trying to get used to it. And it felt a little bit strange at first. It felt like, it's totally not true, but I thought the bottom bracket was super high. I felt like I was up taller
Really?
for some reason, and I got KC to measure, and it's not any different. But I did feel like it, just wanting to pick up speed. Like every time I got off the brakes, it was like whoa, like just like yeah, the momentum was so good, which is sometimes what I struggle with at races. Like
Okay.
when you come out of a corner, you just need to get back up to speed. It's kind of something that I was wanting to work on. So. Yeah, but we timed every lap, but I didn't look at it until the end of the day, and I went like so much quicker on the Gearbox. So,
Really?
yeah, just without trying. Like it wasn't like one run was better than the other, or I got quicker throughout the day. It was like, yeah, it just didn't seem to be. I don't know. Like I felt like I would be better on my bike than I'm used to, and then this one was quicker. So kind of just from that, I was like, okay, I'll just run the Gearbox and see what happens. But unfortunately, when I got back to Joe's that night, I actually got sick. I got the norovirus.
Oh,
And so I went into Poland feeling like pretty wrecked. And so
yeah.
didn't really get to give the bike a proper go. So yeah, I didn't qualify. I think I came like 26th.
Okay.
But I hadn't eaten for like 3 days. So I was like,
Pretty fair.
I felt
Yeah.
pretty wrecked. Yeah. So, but yeah, so then I went into the next couple of races and got used to the bike even more. And one of the things that is different is the shifter. Like it takes a little bit to get used to when to shift, because you can shift at any point and you don't need to pedal. But it goes, I think there's like 3 or 4 easier gears, and then there's quite a big jump to the next one.
Right.
And so to get used to that, instead of like accidentally shifting into a really hard gear, and then or vice versa, going down and suddenly you're spinning. So that takes a minute. But yeah, it felt good, like pretty much straight away. And at the start of a run, you can't see what gear you're in.
Does that spook you a bit or not?
Initially, I was like, kept looking down. I was like, why am I doing this? I can't see. I can't see. So you have to go all the way to like the easiest gear, and then you just
bang,
count.
count up.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a setting you can do, so you always start in the same gear. So there's a way to do that, because you get an
That's
app and you can like.
Okay.
I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But no, the Gearbox is great, and so. Yeah, they gave me, Ollie was, our team manager gave me the option. He said, like, you don't have to run it. There's absolutely no pressure. But I genuinely think it's better. Like, the weight just feels like it's in a good place. And I forget about it until I have to pick my bike up. And I'm like, oh.
It's a heavy bike. Like, we're sort of moving it around the studio and stuff. And it's noticeably heavier than many other sort of downhill bikes.
Yeah.
But, there's sort of the stability that potentially can give you is obviously working well, and the suspension feels good, or?
Yeah, so we changed to EXT this season as well. So there was quite a lot of change, like on the whole setup. But it feels great. Like as soon as I got on the new forks, I felt like right at home. Like they're really, like my arm pump's pretty good, to be honest. Like I don't really struggle with that kind of thing. And yeah, we went from Öhlins to EXT, and so they've still got the 2 chambers. So instead of having the tokens, you can put tokens in these as well, but it's like a ramp up chamber and then a main chamber. So you have like a lot of, what's the word?
Tunability.
Yeah, you can make it exactly how you want it.
Nice.
And we've had EXT at the races.
Oh, cool.
They're so passionate, and they just really want to make like the product as good as it can be.
Yeah.
So
Are you quite particular with setup?
No.
No, really?
No, yeah.
I suppose hence 2 days before. World Cup, yeah.
Well, that's what I think Ollie was like, maybe don't do it, like, you know, you're used to your old bike, whereas for me, I'm like, Joe and I, so Joe started our team, and he's very particular, analyzes everything, does so much testing, and really takes confidence from that, whereas I'm more like, if it feels good, it feels good. And so we're very different, but I've been trying to work on that and be more like Joe, like have more of a process and test everything. And I think he has been a lot more relaxed this year because he's had so much going on with the team, and his results have been so much better. So he's had like less time to test and prepare for World Cups, and he's had his best season so far.
So you're kind of each taking a page out of the other's book almost.
Yeah, I think so. It just seems to be happening, and Ollie, our team manager, he's just great. So yeah, really, really helpful. And yeah, I feel like my setup's so dialed, but really, like Casey, my friend from New Zealand, he's my mechanic, and the only thing I'm really particular with is that my brakes feel good. And yeah, and then with him, we've changed a lot this year, but I'm not like demanding or really particular with anything. But was it Andorra? Yeah, Andorra, we made the rebound a lot quicker, and then worked our way back. So I think that's probably the biggest change I've made. Actually, on that, when we got to Hardline, he actually made the bike a lot slower and stiffer. And when I jumped on it, I was like, oh, it feels not like my bike. And so he changed it all back, and we just kept the same setup.
Oh, no way.
Everything that I run at World Cups is exactly the same.
Huh.
Yeah, just like 1 PSI more in my tyres. So
you probably must be the only person
that
says
does
that.
yeah.
It clearly works.
Yeah, well, I was a bit nervous for some of the bigger features that would bottom out, or it would be a bit like too soft. But then because the tech at Wales is really hard, it gave me more confidence that I could ride through the technical bits and then have feel good and then hit the features. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
I know you said that you're not sort of super particular, but are you still a bit of a nerd about sort of the kit that's on the bike, even if like the setup doesn't even matter, or like because from a bike nerd POV, like of all the bikes that we sort of did bike checks on at Hardline, or you see at the races, that's the one, maybe along with the Atherton A200G. Those are the two that like I was like, can I just chuck it in the van?
Yeah,
like,
just take it away.
That's hand welded by Jeff Steber. That's
as cool.
There's not many of them, like I said, there's not many of them around.
Yeah, I wish I was more of a bike nerd and like super particular. But yeah, I feel bad saying it, but I don't watch loads of bike content either. No. I just love riding. And then I'm super lucky that Joe and the rest of the team are just really into it. Like he's such a nerd. And then, I've got I feel like I've got one of the best bikes for sure. Like the Gearbox is unreal. And yeah, Joe's been wanting it for a long time. He's been pushing Jeff.
Right.
Yeah, big time. And then, the suspension, I feel like some of the teams might not have taken the risk to go with forks that are so new. But yeah, Joe was super confident. And when he tested them, he was blown away. So yeah, and even the brakes, a lot of people don't know Lewis brakes. So again, that could be a risk in some people's eyes, but they feel incredible. So yeah, I'm super lucky. Like everyone on my team has so much experience, and they're good people.
Nice.
So,
aside from the downhill bike, is there any others in the intense range that you sort of love to ride? You got a favourite?
Well, the e-bike, the Taser. Yeah. So, which I literally got it last week.
Okay.
So they were delayed. So I ended up getting it last week, and then I haven't ridden it yet. I literally just left. Yeah, because the van broke down. It's actually still in Scotland in the van. So that's one of the things that I'm driving back to Scotland today, and hopefully this week I can, whilst the van's getting fixed, I hopefully can ride a bit. But
nice.
I do love it. I had one last year.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's similar to the Gearbox. Like they're heavier, but the weight's in the right place.
Is that why you think you sort of adapted so quickly?
I think so. Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of people at World Cup strap weight to their bikes.
But you don't need to.
But no, I don't need to. Yeah. Yeah, which is good. I think especially when like a lot of the tracks are quite steep. I think the bike tracks the ground really well. And I wish I was more of a nerd and I could talk to you. Actually, did you see the wheel weights?
I did. I spotted that after we stopped chatting. So I did film it, but we didn't say anything on it. Yeah.
Well, that was Casey. So when I went to Hardline for the first time and started hitting bigger features, I felt like my wheels wobbling in the air. And I went to him, I was like, I think my wheels are loose. And then he was like, no, your wheels aren't loose.
They're just unweighted.
It's just, they're just not balanced, and he put weights on them, and ever since it's so good. And if you spin them, they just keep going. Like, it's crazy. They don't, like, the momentum is just there. So
there you go, secret nerd, really.
There you go.
You can feel all these things going on.
Yeah.
I've never felt my wheels wobbling on a big road drop.
Have you done a 90-foot jump?
Not in the air.
No. Well, when you do,
that's just riding that feet.
Yeah,
it's a bit
you
different.
just when you do, you put the wheelbase on and you'll get over it. No problem.
That's
Yeah.
it,
That's the answer.
Oh, that's the answer. It's not just DK teaching
Bernard
me.
Kerr didn't tell you to do that,
he didn't
did
say
he?
that.
Oh, he got it all wrong. Oh.
He's keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Top secret.
Pop down Halford to get some wheel weights, stick them on.
Yeah.
Straight out. You mentioned world champs a bit earlier.
Oh yeah.
Is that normally like a focus for you when you start the year? Is that something you kind of like gear up for, look forward to?
Yeah, it's hard this year because I've never been to Shampoo before. So there's like a lot of unknown, and I am really keen to go there, and I've heard a lot of things about the track, so it should be great. But yeah, it's definitely special for me because I get to represent my country, and there's a different feeling at World Champs compared to World Cups. Like, you're with your federation, and there's this, for me, I don't know if it's as much in the UK, but just being Scottish, like, there's so much pride, like just, like, we're so patriotic, and there's that, and the qualifying is different. So I feel like some people who have been struggling to qualify, maybe with World Cups, you get that opportunity to really prove yourself, and so I think it's a lot fairer. There's so many good riders out there that don't qualify, and they have so much like talent, so I love World Champs.
Just have to, was it 2011, Danny Hart? Just watch that run over and over beforehand.
Yeah, I just get really
I still watch it a couple of times a year. So it gets me so hyped up.
Yeah.
2007 Sam Hill.
Is that the one? Is that your one?
He got third. He has a massive. He has. I think he had two crashes, but one was really, really big, and he rode down in the wettest conditions. It was the wettest. He'd qualified first.
Right.
Was it when he crashed at the bottom? And he crashed
quite far up, and he just got covered in mud, gloves and everything, and then he still rode down, and he still managed to get third. Yeah.
That's the worst when you have like mud on your hands and you're like get the throttle grip and you're trying to like complete your run and try and refocus as well, not panic.
Take the gloves off.
Throw them away. Yeah.
They'd done it so Matti Lahaikainen rode down in the dry. He stopped in qualifying because they knew the storms came in at the same time every single day. So then when Martin Whiteley had him stop, so he stopped, and then he qualified really badly, so he set off early. He set the fastest time, and then Hill was last. He'd qualified by I think he won qualifying by 15 seconds, something like that. And then so he still had a bit in the bag, and massive crash and third.
Racing's racing.
Yeah. Imagine those times now, though. Imagine there's never going to be 15-second gaps.
No.
Like in qualifying.
No. It's crazy how tight it is, and it must be so tough now because the women's field's so deep. Yeah. So much talent.
It's definitely a plus and a minus, because I'm like, it's so great having so much competition.
On the one hand.
And then I'm like, I feel like that was a good run, and I didn't qualify. So yeah, it's good. I definitely love it. All the women are incredible, and it's only going to push me more the higher the competition. So yeah, I really like it, and I think the amount of talent is unreal.
Is it quite stressful in the sense that you feel like you need to sort of piece together almost a perfect run compared to something like Hardline, which is more about, I guess, sort of an element of survival, right? Yeah. And kind of getting through it, versus you need to be sort of inch perfect almost everywhere because the times are, like we were saying, so tight. I
definitely feel like Hardline last week was, I just want to complete my run. That's my goal at the moment, is get through. And I'm really focusing on the features and making sure I can because there's no ride arounds, there's no beeline for a lot of them. So, which is the right way. I don't think they should make it easier. If anything, they're just going to make it harder. But at a World Cup, you know, if the conditions changed and stuff, there's other routes you can take. I think the hard bit about World Cups is that I can feel like I have a perfect run and it doesn't reflect that in the time. And then other times I have like a run that feels pretty terrible or like quite awkward, like I mistime something and I make a mistake and then I pull the brakes and then I'm like going into the next section and it can just get kind of out of control or a little bit whatever. And I get down and it's a good time. And so it's like hard to figure out, like I guess it comes with even more experience, but what is actually fast and how to put it together when it counts, like people dealing with that pressure. So that's why I like racing. Like,
do you spend a lot of time trying to analyse? So if you've had those sort of opposed sort of runs, do you spend a lot of time with someone like Ollie going through it and trying to work out why one felt so good but the time wasn't so great, and then on the other hand a bit scrappy but you're quicker? We
do a review every single race. Okay. He does it with every single rider, and it's not to get an answer but more just to have it all written down, and then we can come back to it. And some, like, he'll do, I guess next week actually, mid-season we'll have a bit of a chat about it, and then at the end of the season as well. And so we can just always feel like we're getting better and understanding what's happening. But in Andorra, like the last World Cup, I thought I had the best run in Q1. Like honestly, I felt like I couldn't do better. I hit all my lines. I felt like I was riding really well, and it is a really flat out track. It is really fast, and I just felt like, you know, that was a good run for me. I got to the bottom and I was pumped, and I didn't qualify, and I went, and Millie, my teammate, she got third, and I was so happy. Like, it was her, from going from not qualifying at the start of the season to then getting third. It was such a good turnaround, and she just has so much commitment in her riding, and I'm so impressed like at that. So I was really happy for her. And then I went back to the pits and I was gearing up for my second qualifying. I went back and I was like, I actually chatted to Ollie and Casey, and I was like, I actually have no idea what to do. I've like never had that before. Usually I'll come down and I'll be like, oh, I made this mistake, or I reckon I could like make up some time here. And I was like, I don't know. It just felt so good. And it was actually like, I was a bit upset. I was like, Ollie, what am I about to go do? Like, I can't go any better. And we had a bit of a chat, and he said, you did your job. Like, you did really well. Like, that run, even though you didn't qualify, he's like, you put in a really good effort, you put in a good run. He's like, go back up there and do exactly the same. Like, just give it as much effort as you did. And he was like, the result is the result. Like, you know, just focus on that feeling. And so I listened to him because he's always right. And I went back up and I did another run, and it felt so terrible. Like, it didn't feel great at the time. Like, I was coming down and missing points. It just felt a lot messier. And I came through the finish and I went over 8 seconds faster.
Wow.
And I said, I came through and on the loudspeaker, quite often I can't hear it, but I'm sure he said, oh, and she goes into 4th. And I was like, oh no, there's so many girls come down. Like, I knew that wasn't the best run, but there's only one other girl that has to go in front of me, and then I, like, you know, or two girls, and then I won't qualify. And I was like, they're all so good. Like, they're gonna, like, maybe today just isn't my day. And I went over, and Millie was just so pumped. She was like, that was sick. And then they started celebrating. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and they said, you went into first. And then they told me my time, and I was like, I actually said to Ollie, I was like, I don't understand. Like, that didn't feel like the run that was associated with that time. But I think I'm just gonna I don't know.
How much time do you get to spend with the team? Obviously, you know, that Joe and Millie and that lot. Outside of the race weekend, are you hanging out with those guys? Are you spending, you know, team camps and stuff? Or is it kind of almost an individual sport up until the weekend comes?
It just kind of depends. Like, we did a team camp in Fort William before the start of the season, but Millie got injured at Access, so she actually left to go home and recover. But we try and ride together in between the races and, like, do as much as we can. Where did I ride with Millie? I think, it's been kind of tricky. Like, this season, I've been riding a lot in between the races, but either with Oscar or Millie, but more would be better. But it just depends what program everyone's on. Like, Millie can go home to Norway, and then so this break that's just coming up, like, Millie's in Canada racing Crankworx, but then I was going to go to European Champs, so then I was like, I'm in Europe, and then Joe's now injured, but we were planning to all go to Morzine and then do some riding before Leger, but it depends if Joe's knee's good enough to come back, which we are hoping it will be, and then Millie's probably going to come back a week early, so we should get some laps in. But I love riding with Millie. It's made the biggest difference this year, like coming into the team and having like another female just to go through the racing with. Like I don't think it's a lonely sport, but it's so nice to get ready in the morning with someone and have the same kind of experiences and just vibe off each other in practice. And we're very different riders, so I think it's really beneficial.
She has some massive crashes.
She's super gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fearless. Like she's got this commitment to riding, and that is so impressive. Like we'll be chatting, she'll be like, right, we're not braking till the trees, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. Like, I think I want to brake, but then there's other times where she's following me and she's like, oh, you just pulled away in like this section, and so we can kind of like, figure out. I feel like we're pulling each other along, and
that's cool.
Yeah, but I knew as soon as she qualified this season, it was going to be on. Like her commitment is so high. Yeah, which is impressive. I would love to have more of that, to be able to switch my brain off in race runs and just let whatever happens. Yeah. Whereas I feel like I'm trying to be in control too much. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like stay within my comfort zone, and I think that's what maybe happened in Andorra.
Okay.
I felt like it was a really good run, but just nowhere near the edge. And I think that's where you have to be at the moment for World Cups. Yeah.
It's a good place to be there, and in terms of like where we're at, like we were saying, the depth of talent now.
Oh, it's huge.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. And it's also like, figuring that out throughout the race season, like learning how to push, but also not push too much. And like, it's only a good thing.
I was going to ask you before we start to wrap up, like, what's your take on the current state of the sport? Obviously, we've had big changes with racing. We've got more women competing, and everyone's at a super high level. It feels like, I mean, from the outside looking in, like we're in a pretty good place. But as an insider, what's your take on it?
I think that's such a big question. Like in terms of World Cup racing, I think like the new format is really good. Like the Q1, Q2, everyone gets a fair chance. You get your 2 runs, and like the protection was good for TV, but I think it's even more exciting now. You have so many big names like fighting for a spot, and I think it's a really good time just to put just to be even a fan of downhill is great, but in terms of getting into the sport, it's pretty tough to race downhill, I think, if you're not supported and like not on a big team. So
what do you think needs to change in order to try and get more people, more women involved?
With women, I think equal pay wouldn't hurt. Like I know it comes from the brands, but if we market to men and women, and we also like the talent is so much now, it'd be great if we could, like, I know the top women don't get paid as much as the top men, and I think that would really help. Or even like a depth of pay, like there's a lot of women who are qualifying and they're not getting paid, so it would be great that would help women get to the races. And this season we went from top 10 to top 15, which is great. That's how it used to be, so we have like a better race when it comes to the Sunday usually. I don't know if they would change it to top 20, but if the field keeps growing as it is and the depth of talent,
they have to, right?
I would love
Surely,
it. Like it would just make the racing better. So that would also be interesting. I don't know what else. Like I got so lucky being a privateer and getting picked up by a team. Like I think now if you're a privateer, it's pretty hard. If you're not an elite team, you don't get exposure, so the brands don't have as much, they don't get as much back from you racing, and it's a big question. I wish I knew the answer, and I just want our sport to get better and more women to get involved, and I wish I could do more about it. So just riding, I hope it like encourages more women to get in.
Well, I think you're an outstanding role model. I think
Thanks.
this weekend just gone, clearly
Yeah.
shows that, and obviously now national champ as well. So
Yeah.
quite incredible.
Well, I just I think it's great to have women racing at the top end of the sport, but us racing at Hardline is great, and it doesn't mean loads of women need to come and race Hardline if they don't want to.
Yeah.
But I hope it just encourages them to ride and push themselves, because it is it's such a good feeling,
Yeah.
overcoming your fears, and you just feel so accomplished, and your self-belief grows so much as well when you really challenge your riding. So
Perfect. Well, I think that's a great place to end now.
Yeah.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm really sorry you got to go all the way back to Scotland now. Yes, so rubbish.
okay, this is a nice break, actually.
Good.
It's
Okay.
nice.
Excellent. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Tom. Make sure you stay tuned for more podcasts from us soon.